All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Clarke Auction Autumn Sale. That's right, folks, it's autumn, and you know what that means? It's bird hunting season, because we opened up in October with duck season and pheasant season, quail season to come in November. And you know what I like to do when I come home from a hunt? I like to kick off my boots and walk on a nice plush rug. And that's what I have to share with you today, folks. Beautiful rugs. Take a look at this very first rug, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing says I've made it in life quite like a carpet that doubles as both fine art and an accidental camouflage for spilled rosé. This absolutely exquisite Kerbin carpet has a beautiful blue field, central medallion, cream, light blue, and pink accents throughout. Here's a vintage silk carpet with a floral motifs, deer and birds, an entire garden and woodland scene without leaving your parlor. Here's a true palace-sized carpet, large enough to anchor the grandest of rooms or simply remind you of how modest the rest of your furniture looks. This is a spectacular palace-sized antique blue field carpet with cream accents, flowers, animals, and trees throughout. Here's a beautiful rug, ladies and gentlemen, with perfectly aligned medallions. Orderly, elegant, and very pleasing to the eye. Wouldn't you love to have this in your library? Here's a beautiful large carpet, ladies and gentlemen, like a garden party where the flowers got a little too tipsy and decided to take over the entire floor. This has spectacular floral elements throughout, large and bold. What a carpet. Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the pile. This mixed mountain of rugs, because nothing says auction preview quite like a pile you can either bid on or camp under. Here's a nice classic oriental rug with a central medallion, the type that defines the category and has done so for centuries. Take a look at this beauty, a green field carpet with floral accents and a cream border, a traditional design with enduring appeal. And here's an Art Deco Chinese carpet, a minimalist dream, because why cover the whole rug with flowers when you could just throw some in the corners and call it a day? This beautiful Art Deco Chinese carpet in green and flowers throughout. What a sprinkle of color here and a sprinkle of color there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this book. Just kidding. It's a clock. That's right. It's a Jaeger electronic book clock. Finally, a book that tells you the time before you even open it. Take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Spectacular. Here's two fine French clocks, because the French have always been capable of making even timekeeping look effortlessly chic. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, two clocks, one money. Right next to it, what do I have? It's a large, ornate bronze clock garniture set. This large bronze clock garniture set is perfect for anyone who believes punctuality deserves a little overkill. Here's a vintage and finest quality bronze-mounted tall case clock. Now this clock with exquisite bronze mounts is proof that even furniture can aspire to grandeur. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what time it is? I think I do. Take a look down here. It doesn't matter what time it is, because Hulkamania always runs on its own time, brother. Take a look at these classic WWF figures coming at you from the top rope. Iron Sheik, Andre the Giant. This is part of a grouping where there will be 6 in one lot. And finally, Hulkamania, ladies and gentlemen. Hulk Hogan, may he rest in peace. What a great performer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to make fiscally responsible decisions. That's right, because what do I have right down here, ladies and gentlemen? It's gold coins. Gold coins from America, China, and the California Gold Rush. Basically, the world's first international savings account. Tick tock, tick tock. What could that be, ladies and gentlemen? Why, it's certainly my clock. Take a look at these amazing pocket watches. 14 karat gold, stainless steel, you name it, I've got it. Right next to it, gentlemen's vintage wristwatch, ladies' vintage watches, because I've got all the bases covered. Here's a large group of junk silver and commemoratives in OGP, because nothing says investment grade like plastic holders. And to your right, what do I have? Eagles, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, because silver is flying sky high. And right over here, take a look at this. Gemini project photos. These are back when NASA's best special effects made Hollywood jealous. I think I can even see Kubrick in the corner. And right over here, a photograph of Teddy Roosevelt with a clipped signature. Absolutely incredible. This was made out to Raymond C. Yard, a very famous jeweler, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's take a little trip back to feudal Japan. Take a look at what I have here on this tray. 5 Japanese Subas. The only time spare parts look this collectible. Right behind it, it's a Japanese samurai Tsunari Kabuto. 3 plates, people. Because every home needs a conversation piece that doubles as medieval headgear. And right over here, take a look. It's a Japanese Omiyari spear. Basically the ancient version of Do Not Disturb. Right behind it, it's a signed Japanese katana sword. So sharp, it practically signed itself, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's a Persian Kulakad helmet and shield, bringing new meaning to the phrase, dress to impress. Right beside it, a silver-mounted Kanjar dagger, equal parts art, weapon, an excellent excuse to clear your mantle. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to be as sharp as the devil himself, right about here and right about now, because you're looking at an exceptional Civil War Model 1840 Ames artillery saber. Ideal for collectors or anyone who's ever thought their letter opener was a little underwhelming. Right in front, folks, we got a British Indian officer's sword and an 1825 rifle officer's sword, also out of India. Made by Robert Moles, because nothing says empire like 2 blades and a stiff upper lip. Moving right along, an American 1860 cavalry saber paired with a British 1796 beautiful cavalry saber. Proof that even in swords, the cousins across the pond couldn't stop comparing notes. Right down here, folks, World War I, British, one of the finest swords made. This was perfect for cutting and thrusting with an orthopedic handle. Not the prettiest to lay eyes on, but yet the most effective. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that about ends it for me. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing each and every single one of you here at Clarke Auction Gallery. Happy bidding.